everyone, it's me, Kelly Rosetta, and I'm coming to you again from Kelly's Corner here, and these are the Butterfly Beauty tutorials if you are a lupus guy or girl on the go, presented by More Than Lupus. Now, we've done a little bit of everything on these tutorials. We've covered makeup tips and tricks, we've covered hair tutorials and makeup tutorials, sunscreen suggestions, product reviews, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. You know, I completely love feeling confident on the outside, but I also love feeling confident on the inside. I love learning and feeling prepared for whatever comes my way with my lupus journey. I especially love being informed. So today I'm going to show you and review some of my favorite lupus books if you are living with lupus or another chronic illness, to help you stay informed and set you up for success along your lupus journey. There are so many books out there, and you know, one thing that I've heard time and time again is when you're diagnosed with lupus, you go on to Google, you Google it, and you're like, oh, there's so much stuff out there. I don't know where to start. I don't know which websites I should look at. I don't know what support group to join. I don't know if I'm ready for a support group. I don't even know what lupus is and what it does and these medications and what are these medications going to do. And it's like, it's so overwhelming. Well, I have a huge suggestion for you and a fabulous resource. My number one top recommendation for anyone who's living with lupus and a lupus overlap illness is this. This is the Lupus Encyclopedia by Dr. Thomas. This is a fantastic guide. I mean, hello, look at how thick that is. It makes War and Peace seem like a Post-it. This has everything, you guys. This is your go-to comprehensive guide for not just you, but for your loved ones to understand this illness more. It covers everything, not just lupus, but fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's, Raynaud's, mixed connective tissue disease, scleroderma, vasculitis, all of it, the different types of lupus, all of it is in this book. Now, this was written by Dr. Thomas, who is assistant professor of medicine at the University in Health Sciences and teaches technology and rheumatology at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. He's actually going to be speaking at one of our symposiums coming up in a couple of weeks. He is fantastic. Now, this is a huge guide that provides detailed explanations of every body potentially affected by lupus. It does a history of lupus. It talks about lupus medications, lupus symptoms, how to effectively communicate with your doctor. It talks about diagnosis and tests, genetics and epigenetics. It talks about lupus secrets to live your best life with this illness. It's all in this amazing book. And you can get this book on Amazon. And while you're at it, go to smile.amazon.com and choose More Than Lupus as your charity of choice. Okay, so this is my number one. I just got a brand spanking new one because the last copy I had, the pages were torn, they were bent, they were dog-eared, they had highlight marks all over them, there's Post-its all throughout, things circled, I mean underlined. It is a fantastic resource. And one of the really cool things about this book is there's a whole chapter on your anti-nuclear antibody, and the things that he says about it will blow your mind. So this, the Lupus Encyclopedia by Dr. Thomas. First pick, go out and get it. Do yourself a favor. My second pick for a lupus resource book is this one. This one is called Sick and Tired of Feeling Sick and Tired. And this book is about living with invisible chronic illnesses. So this talks about when you're living with a disease that you can't usually see on the outside, but is wreaking havoc on the inside, and how that affects you physically and emotionally and the people around you as well. This is a great resource, not just for those who have lupus, but also rheumatoid arthritis, endometriosis, muscular sclerosis, all of these. This is a great, great, great resource. I have circled a bunch of stuff in here and highlighted and underlined and pointed at so many things that really, really have hit home. Particularly when you don't look on the outside, people start questioning if you're really sick, and then you start doubting yourself. So there is so much in this book. This is an invaluable resource. Sick and Tired of Feeling Sick and Tired, Living with Invisible Chronic Illness by Paul Donahue and Mary Siegel. Two of the biggest symptoms that people experience living with lupus are fatigue and chronic pain. Now, the pain can look very different in each person who lives with it, because lupus is a systemic disease and it affects different parts of the body, and each person affected is a little bit different. So you could have pain in your musculoskeletal system that manifests in joints, in muscles, in your tissue fascia. You also can have pain from kidney issues. You can have pain from lung issues and heart issues. You can suffer from migraines from CNS lupus. You can suffer from painful swelling and cramping in your legs from vasculitis associated with lupus. There's a lot of different things that can cause pain if you're living with lupus. But how do you deal with that pain? How do you not let your pain be something that derails you, something you're constantly fighting against, something that you identify with, and that you can't seem to push through and manage? This is a great resource for you. Freedom from Suffering, A Journey to Hope. This was written by Dr. Stephen Grinstead, who is an expert on chronic pain and chronic pain management. This is a fantastic resource. I have read through this a few times, and one of the most important things that I got out of this book is the paragraph where it talks about how we fight against our pain, and how when we fight against our pain, we're not allowing ourselves to be mindful, to accept our lives, to truly cherish our lives, because we're constantly fighting against our pain. This is a great resource if you're living with pain associated with lupus, whether it's physical or emotional. My next book was written by a very dear friend of mine. I call her my soul sister, and that is When Lupus Throws You for a Loop, and this is by Donna Oram. Donna Oram is a social worker who got lupus, and it really changed her life and the trajectory of her life, and she decided to really commit her life to lupus awareness and writing this book. And this is a handbook for the newly diagnosed or the lupus veteran, or for those that love them. And this one's really great because when it's written by a lupus patient, it gives you a very unique and special perspective. In this book, she talks a bit about intimacy. She talks about relationships in your life. She talks about counting your blessings and gratitude. There's a lot here. It is just a nice, thin handbook that you can pull out and reference when you're having a bad day, or maybe you're having a flare and you need some advice from a lupus sister when lupus throws you for a loop. And lastly, I have a little book here. This is a children's book, and I know the author. I wrote this book. This is My Special Butterfly, and My Special Butterfly is a book to help children understand a loved one's life with lupus in a way that's easy for them to follow and very sensitive to their feelings. And it tells the story of two young siblings, Olivia and Jack, and their thought process as they cope with their mommy's sudden lupus symptoms. Now, this book features a family of color, which is very important to me. That's what I wanted. And everything about this book was thought about. The colors, the textures, font, everything. The reason why I felt so inclined to write this book was because of a conversation I had with my then 5-year-old son. And one day my son said to me, "Mommy, why can't you come out and play with me? Why are you so tired?" And I said to him, "Well, honey, it's because I have lupus and sometimes it makes me really tired. And I have to rest so that I can feel better and play with you." He said to me, "What is lupus?" And then I felt charged with the responsibility of explaining this incredibly complex illness to a child. And I didn't want to present too much information that was scary, but I know that children, they're straight shooters. You got to give it to them straight and simple. And how did I do that? So I went to Google and I looked up lupus books for kids. And I didn't see anything there. And then I searched some more and I searched some more, and there was really nothing there. So then I thought about, gosh, if this is a need for me, I'm sure it's a need for other people. I mean, over 5 million people live with this illness. Many of them are mommies and daddies and aunties and uncles and grandmas and godparents. And I'm sure they have this need too. So if there wasn't a book out there, my response was, okay, I guess I write one myself. And that's exactly what I did. This book is available in English and in Spanish. There's even, in the back, a parent guide. There are tips and tricks to answer common questions in a way that's easy for a child to understand. Everything from what is lupus to is it contagious? Will you feel sick all the time? To how can I help? And there are response examples that you can follow if your child or niece or nephew or grandchild asks you these questions. And there's additional resources in here too to help you along the way. So this is a really important resource for you if you have little loved ones in your life. So there you go. There are my lupus books that I highly recommend if you are living with lupus or another chronic illness. I'm going to have some links for these below. Get these today. They're all available on Amazon. Do yourself a favor. The more you know, the less you fear. Take care, you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, share this video, and as always, new butterfly videos are coming out your way every Wednesday and Sunday. Follow us on social media too if you don't already. And let me remind you to always, always fly high, my special, beautiful butterflies. Thanks so much. See you next time.